Hi guys, welcome to another trick and performance and tutorial. If it is your first time here at the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe, and also what most of you forget is to hit that little bell icon, because every time we upload a new video every week, once or twice, you will be informed that a new video is available for you to view. The trick today uses just a regular deck of cards, although we're not going to use all of those. But you say to a spectator, did you know that every card in the pack has a matching mate? There's a pair of cards, and let me give you an example. In any deck of cards, for example, if we look at the red 9, there's another red 9 in there. There's a pair of 9s, red 9s. That's how that works. What I want you to do is to choose 4 cards randomly. Just put them out towards yourself. The spectator will go through and remove 4 cards at random. If we take a look at the 4 cards you've chosen, we're going to find the matching pair. The red 10, the red 4, the red ace, the black 3. The rest of the cards we don't need. So we now got these cards which are in pairs. Let me just show you the pairs that we've got. We took 2 10s, 2 3s, 2 aces and 2 4s. But we do want to mix these up, so we're going to give these a quick shuffle. And in fact we can even mess them up even more. It doesn't make any difference. If you would like to handle the cards, could you cut the cards and complete the cut? They cut the cards. We want to mess these cards up even more, and we're going to get you to do what's known as an Australian shuffle. If you pick up the cards, and the Australian shuffle is where you deal 1 card on the table, you deal that down, and you put the next one under. Deal down and under. I wonder where it got its name from. And you go through, and what you're doing here is you're totally messing up, in a total disarray, the cards. You've got one left. Okay, put that on there. Is this going to work? And will it affect my career? Anyway, the cards, I think you'll agree, is pretty much mixed up. Again, I don't want to touch them. Can you deal out 2 separate piles of cards back and forth? I've done nothing. You've handled all the cards, but what I'd like you to do is to concentrate as a pair. Think pair. 1, 2, 2 cards alike. Your choice. Do you want the top or the bottom? It's your choice. Now at this point in the trick, there's no magician's force. They really can choose where the pair appears, on the top or the bottom. Absolutely free choice. Let's say in this example they chose the bottom. They want the bottom to be paired. Again, you're not touching the cards. You ask them just to spread the cards and slide out the bottom 2 cards. Their choice. Remember, they could have chosen the top. If we take a look, you'll see they're not a pair. Turn over the 2 bottom cards, and there you've got an exact matched pair. Practice and enjoy. So here's the tutorial for this great little effect. It's one that you can do impromptu, because you don't need any setup, you don't need any fake cards or special decks. They're just regular playing cards. Now, I was shown this a number of years ago by a close friend of mine. He couldn't remember where he got it from, but I did a little bit of research, and I think Phil Goldstein actually did a similar trick to this, but I'm sure it's been done by other people as well. I don't know whether it's exactly the same as his, but that's the best research I could come up with. But it is a great effect, and you use the cards. You get them to choose any card. Now you don't have to do this, because you can perform the trick by removing 4 cards yourself. And I guess you could also do this trick by using extrasensory perception cards, ESP cards, or even tarot cards if you want to be a little bit offbeat. As long as you've got pairs of cards, number cards or anything like that, you could perform the same effect. So, but this is useful if you just want to do it impromptu with a deck of cards. So what you do is you remove the pairs of cards that they maybe choose. Now I'm just going to pick out 4 pairs of cards. Okay, so we've got 4 pairs of cards. The rest of the pack can be put to one side. Now, once you've removed these, you collect them all up, so they're in pairs. You then deal the cards out to show them. What you're doing is separating them into 2 piles. 2 sixes, 2 nines, 2 kings, and 2 queens. You then take one of the packets and just drop it on there. Note how casual I'm being. Don't make it all neat, because it adds to the effect and it's very messy. It looks as though you couldn't care less of the order of the packets. Just grab them and say, okay, we've got these. If you want to, you don't have to do this. You can shuffle the cards, but if you are going to shuffle, you can either, there's only 8 cards, you could do an overhand shuffle just by pulling off individual cards. So I'm pulling off all 8 cards one at a time. All I've done is reverse the order, and then I could do that again. Just pull off the cards very quickly. You've got them shuffled. They're actually in the same order as you laid them out. Some people, when they're doing shuffles like this, may do half and half. So what they'll do is they'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, then drop the whole packet on, then do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then drop the whole packet on. The cards are still in the order that you started with. In fact, there you go. If we look there, 6, 9, king, queen, 6, 9, king, queen. So they're still in the same order, even though you've done that. And because of the sequence, it doesn't matter if you cut the cards. So again, just haphazardly mix the cards up and throw them down. You ask the spectator to cut the cards anywhere they like. They can cut the cards because it doesn't mess the order up, and complete the cut. Now I like to use this down under shuffle, and I call it an Australian shuffle for obvious reasons, for me being based in the UK, the down under shuffle. But I quite like this one where they deal a card down, put the next one underneath, down, next, down. And what this is doing is sorting out the cards into a particular order. Once you've done that, and just follow along with that, it's that simple, down, under, until you exhaust all the cards. Let me show you the order that they're in now. Okay, you've got this particular order of a pair of cards at the top, another pair of cards, and then a mix of cards. Okay, but because this is self-working, you don't need to worry about the order at this point. So that's been done. You finally ask the spectator to deal out 2 piles of cards, like that. Once they've dealt theirs out into 2 piles, this is where you're going to alter the ending. Yep, it has got multiple outs, but these are so good. You know, sometimes when you have a trick that requires multiple outs, you often find a couple of them are pretty lame and only one of them is good. Trust me, when you see this, every single out is a knockout effect. So don't worry about that. So with these 2 piles, you're going to ask the spectator, do you want the pair at the top or the bottom? Now note the wording, okay? I'm just saying, do you want the pair at the top or the bottom? Now if they say the bottom, then nothing has to be done, because the 2 bottom cards will always be paired up. So that's straightforward. That's what I did in the routine. And the good thing about this is if you show the top, which they could have had, they're not in pairs. So you're probably wondering, what if they chose the top? Well, in a way, I actually think this is a much stronger effect, and you'll see why. Let me ask the question again. Would you like to see the pairs at the bottom or on the top? Now let's say they say the top. I then say you've got a choice of the top. Do you want the pair on here or here? Do you see what I'm doing now? Do you want the pair on here or here? At this point, he didn't know that if he had said the bottom, that you weren't going to say, do you want the bottom two on here or the bottom two there? This is the beauty of this out. So you say, would you like to see the pair on the top or the bottom? And they say the top. And you then say, do you want the pair here or here? Your choice. Whichever one you point to is the one we'll use. Really stress that, okay, that they do get an absolute 100% choice. Let's say they chose this one here. What you do, you say, take those cards and you pick up the other cards. Now, you are going to perform a bit of an Elmsley, not a full Elmsley count, but a little bit. Let me show you why. This is the one that they're going to go for. Now, let me just show you that both packets have pairs on. So at this point, it didn't matter which one they choose. They've gone for that one. You tell them to pick this up and you say, take the top two cards and deal them down. Now they will deal two cards down and you do the same, but watch what I do. I pull the top card off. I then do an Elmsley by putting this one back to the bottom and pushing off two cards there. And I put those down. The illusion is great. They're busy dealing their two cards down onto the table. I will put a link to the Elmsley count in the description below. I've got a short tutorial that's about 2 or 3 minutes long. If you've never done the Elmsley before, have a look at that and practice it to get this. It's worth it just for this one trick alone. We say you could have chosen the bottom pair. Now if I turn these over, they don't match. I've got a 6 and a 9. If they turn theirs over, they got a 6 and a king. So that really impresses them straight away. But not only that, they chose this one. If I turn these two over, I don't have a pair. I have a king and a 9. All 3 pairs are mismatched here. However, the top that they chose just happened to be the only pair. Isn't that a great effect? That is a blinding effect. As I say, it's not an original effect, but it's such a great illusion. And if I'm honest with you, this is one that I probably perform the most. If you counted a particular trick that I've performed throughout the last 12 months the most, I would say this is it. I do like this effect.